Welcome back to The Juice. Today we're not fumbling with the microphones, are we? No, we're not. And you're like asking, what the hell are you talking about? Well, because he just mentioned before we did the synchronization clap, he keeps fumbling with his microphone.
I always make it a hell for him. Every time he turns it on, I just start doing all kinds of...
Well, what are we talking about today, dude?
I don't know.
You don't know. Should we ask Isabella, who is the AI we hired to actually upgrade the show just a little bit?
We kind of realized, we were always like against this whole modernization and digital kind of thing until we saw ourselves on camera. I thought, maybe robots is a good idea.
maybe that's not the worst. They should put it to the test. So, Isabella, who are we talking about today?
We are going to look at the superstar named Alec Benjamin. Alec Shane Benjamin was born on May 28, 1994 in Phoenix, Arizona, where he and his sister were raised. He started learning guitar in high school and released his first extended EP America in 2013. Benjamin signed with Columbia Records and enrolled at the University of Southern California. However, Columbia Records ended their partnership weeks after he submitted his album. Despite termination of partnership with Columbia Records, he went on a self-funded tour in Europe to open for Marina Kaye in France and Leah in Germany. He promoted his music by performing in parking lots outside concert venues and handing out business cards to passers-by.
Great, thank you.
Yay!
Let's dive into it. Can you put it up on our screen over here?
Yes! Just a sec. It's amazing lyrics, really.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yes. So, let me down slowly.
Alec Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got the lyrics here.
Yeah, we
already.
do.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I checked it out on Spotify.
Well, I've got to admit I've heard it on the Clickety Clockety app.
On the TikTok app. Yeah, really.
I'm just gonna be prepared to beep. Isabella, can you beep? I've heard it a ton of times. Like, it's been everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's blowing up, really. And
it's a great song.
It's definitely one of the best mixes I've ever heard, really. I think it got over like 1 billion streams on Spotify already. It's insane, bro. But the question is it synchronized with TikTok since it got so many streams, or are people just loving this track so much?
I don't think Spotify synchronizes anything with any other app or anything. It's just people have been listening to it on Spotify.
Because that means they're going to pay us a little more.
No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
We're going to dive into Let Me Down Slowly.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to say it's been made famous on TikTok. I'm not that much online to be able to determine that. But I have definitely heard it on TikTok. It's been used a lot. And it's a great song. It's easy to see why.
Yeah.
What do you think about the vocals?
Well, we can get my honest reaction to it in 3, 2, 1.
That is not it. That's Rob Zombie. Which is kind of different.
That's a different song.
Why am I doing this? Why aren't you asking, Isabella? We've hired a goddamn robot slave. Why do I have to do this?
Careful what you say around Isabella. You know, she's controlling the show.
Sorry, honey. What the hell?
Don't call her honey.
No, I'm sorry. God damn, sorry. Oh no.
Help us. The chorus, it just sticks.
It's really.
Let me down slowly. Yeah.
Should we stop?
Yeah. It's one of the best vocals I've heard from an upcoming... I don't think this is upcoming
No, not anymore.
From an exploding pop artist? Is it pop, really? I don't know. Like, it sounds indie, but it sounds pop as well.
It does sound very indie.
Yeah, really.
A thing I really enjoy about the song is how much room each instrument take, because there aren't actually a lot of things happening in the tracks.
Yeah, really.
There's like a few synthesizers. And I know there's a lot of like layers, there's a lot of chorus and stuff like that. What's it called? Choir. What the fuck am I talking about?
That's the thing about the mix in this track that I have to point out. It's like when you're doing layering with vocals, you're doing what we call dubs. And the layering in this track is phenomenally good.
Really
you can't even you can barely hear the layering. It's hard to distinguish, really, but it's there, and it's so delicate, and it's so spot on. Like, one of the worst things you can do with layering is copy paste.
Yeah, don't do that.
don't do like I do.
You've been called out for that a lot of times.
Yeah, I've been called out like every time I'm in the
Francis
studio.
Music
Like
hates you.
like my mixing guy is like, oh, you did a Kenny again, didn't you?
Yeah, he actually said that to me. I was mixing at him, and he's like, "Did Kenyo help you record this?" Like, yeah, he did.
How do
Why?
you know?
How do you know? Oh, I know.
I can see
He's
it.
a bad boy.
Anyways, but the layering in this track is phenomenally good.
Yeah, it really is.
And the voice is very characteristic, and we kind of had a hard time differentiating if it's a boy, girl, man, woman.
Yeah. Because it's
so much in between.
Yeah, and it's also because it's so delicate.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's like, you can hear when people are actively, if it's a man who's trying to sing very high voices, high-pitched voices, if it's a girl who's trying to sing low. But this just seems so effortless.
Yes.
You almost have this feeling that this is also this person's talking voice.
It almost,
It's so easy for him to do this, which makes it confusing because that high pitched of a voice normally requires some effort or some other power. This seems so delicate.
And my first thought when I was like diving into that area of the track, like is like saying it is swamped in effects, but then there's a way he's saying please. There's one room in the entire song when he says please. Yeah. And you can hear it's raw. Yeah. It's not swamped in effects per se. There's of course everyone has autotune. but yeah, I think that's it. And there's maybe some reverb in there, but that kind of just gives the roomy effect. Yeah. We can put some reverb on our vocals right now and you can hear the difference.
Yeah. But even when it comes to horrible. Even when we come to like the drums are just
it's so simple.
It. But when you listen to they have thought about even the sound on that, because you notice when the snare, what you would call it, the snare hits, it's not a snare.
No,
it's both a rattle thing, it's a snare, it's something else. It's a lot of thing that make up the sound. I think how I would describe
tambourine.
it is,
that's what they call it.
They've taken each instrument or each sound, only used a very few sounds, but made a lot of effort into making those sounds count.
Every sound is really thought through, and it gives a lot of room and space for the vocal. Yeah, because
really.
the vocal is really carrying this whole track
a lot,
and I love that chorus.
And when you go down, that whole kind of rhythm.
You kind of want to sing along to it. It's just bouncing along with like I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I have some things. The song is only like 2:45.
Yeah, it's not that long,
and I love that it's not longer because he could have milked this for several choruses if he wanted to, or made some kind of like that whole catchy part of it and just really double down on it. But that also have a tendency to make the songs annoying. Yeah. If 1 billion people are listening to it, you need to be careful it doesn't get annoying at some point. Yeah. And it can be. And this he doesn't milk it. He just, this is what matters. This is what counts, and it doesn't need to be longer than that. This was great, and we're going to stop it when it's great.
Which I find really interesting, because it might be the reason why it has so many streams is like people press and replay.
Yeah, absolutely. I've listened to it many times.
I've heard it, and I was like, I need to hear that song one more time. So that's 2 streams for me.
It has so few things on it, and it still just has a lot of depth. I think about the thing you said with autotune, because of course. He probably they run it through autotune just to see if there's some things that are off. I'm not saying he needs
it. If you think you're a bad singer because someone put autotune on you,
nah,
don't beat yourself up. Even I think every artist right now has autotune on it.
Most of them,
because music today, when you're releasing it, it has to be so perfect that the only minor variations on the vocal would be
Yeah.
devastating for the whole mix.
It's also just a thing of ease sometimes. It takes like 3 minutes to just run through autotune, not to change anything necessarily, just to see is everything all right, it's where it's supposed to be, let's move on.
Yeah.
It's just easy to check it in that way if it corrects anything. But the thing about this is autotune has that thing where it removes personality from the voice, because everybody knows humans aren't that perfect with our voices, and you can kind of you can't hear autotune, but you can kind of hear it if you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then that's that personality thing.
But I think
that
also,
goes
I
away.
also think that,
But it's still here.
Yeah, it's still there. I think a lot of people like mix up when they hear autotune, they're like thinking robot voice. But robot voice is actually it's a choice that you make.
Yeah.
I have a robot voice on one of my feature tracks coming soon, where I was like, it's not really my thing, but I'm choosing to do it because it's so popish thing.
That
to do.
whole song is also just about being, weird out in space and stuff like that. So it's kind of like it becomes an artistic choice.
Yeah, it's an artistic choice, really. That's the word I'm looking for. And to make a robot voice, you kind of have to crank pretty much all dials up to 11 in the autotune. So you kind of have to go past where you're singing clearly to now you're just sounding weird. So it's most of the time when you hear it, it's a choice. It's a sound that artists have chosen to say.
You wanted to correct it.
I kind of like it this way.
It is to some extent. You could also just argue that if there's nothing to correct, autotune won't do it.
Yeah.
He still has that personality. If you told me there wasn't autotune on this, I would completely believe it, because even though it is polished, his voice is just polished. It's just that beautiful. It's round. It's fuzzy.
I could imagine
So-
being some pitch corrections here and there, but I think that's it.
But maybe not.
Because I'm still going back to let's pull up the lyrics. Because we're gonna dive into structure, lyrics, and sexiness on this track.
Yeah.
And we might as well just start with the lyrics. So Isabella, if you can pull up the lyrics first, that would be freaking amazing.
I can't wait to hear what you have to say about these lyrics.
We have them here. Let's see if you can scroll down. There. So, in the I think it's a pre-chorus. Now I'm slipping through the cracks of your cold embrace, so please. The way he's pronouncing "please" in the mix, you can actually hear that it's not real swamped into any effects or anything. It's very raw and it's so delicate and it's kind of glass-like. And I love that.
There's a bit vocal fry on it too. I seem to remember he had a bit where his voice cracks a bit, but maybe I'm misremembering.
Yeah, he does that.
Fry on it.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a mistake in the studio and they just kept it because
it doesn't sound like it though.
Because it sounds like it's intentional, really.
Yeah, totally intentional. Like that's a whole story thing.
Yeah, it's like a whole storytelling thing. Well, speaking of storytelling, the first verse goes, "This night is cold in the kingdom. I can feel you fade away from the kitchen to the bathroom sink, and your steps keep me awake. Don't cup it down, throw me out, leave me here to waste. I once was a man with dignity and grace. Now I'm slipping through the cracks of your cold embrace, so please.
It's beautiful. It's well written.
It's like you're sinking into these lyrics, really. Especially the way he's performing them. It gets me every time. Like, you kind of want to sing along to it. Like, he could sing about making a Swedish stew.
Absolutely.
I would just fade away into it.
I do like I'm not gonna say that his way of rhyming is particularly, it's pretty basic,
It's not really
rhyming
original,
waste with grace and embrace and that kind of thing. But
let's pull up Rhyme Zone and see what happens.
but it's just well written. You know what he's singing about. It's easy. He's telling a story. He's using, of course, a lot of metaphors, but you have no doubt what this is about. Of course not. I do kind of like that when you see the first verse, where there's absolutely nothing that rhymes, and then the next part where everything rhymes.
Yeah, it's
That's kind of a funny way to do it.
Again, was this an artistic choice, or was this like I have this beat. Do you have some lyrics stocked away somewhere and just sing whatever melody comes to mind?
Yeah, because like
sometimes that works as well, and it works beautifully.
Because like kingdom, away, bathroom, and awake, nothing of that kind of rhymes. But then when you go
away
down
and
to
awake kind of rhymes.
Yeah, but then you go down to second verse where he starts rhyming again, but differently. Where he goes, feet on the tile rhymes with talked in a while, and down the corridor rhymes with for an open door. Like it's kind of interesting that there's not really any rhyme or rhythm or sense to when he chooses to rhyme. It's just whatever.
It's kind of funny. Like when I'm reading these lyrics, I kind of want to sing it.
Yeah,
because you have the song in your head.
I do.
I'm reading it in his voice.
Like it's kind of funny because there's actually like we're talking about structure always in this show. There's not really any structure to this. It's not really that classical.
No, it's not a classical
structure, but it works. It
Yeah.
works. There's no problem with it.
But like, is the meaning of the song shining through to you with these lyrics?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you're getting what the whole thing is about. I love how he's making himself look so vulnerable with the situation. It's a way of just not just about writing the lyrics, but the way you're performing it, and the vulnerability is so high.
It's
so relatable. It's so high, and it's like you kind of feel like you lost the love of your life.
Yeah, and it's kind of where the music and his voice and lyrics kind of just goes together as one. You could even just listen to the piano only and feel the same feelings. Even everything from the drums to the synthesizers and stuff like that. It's just everything kind of tells the same story, and that's really beautiful when that comes together.
It feels like it's a storytelling of how you've been in a kind of like a silent mode in your own relationship for a while now, and it's only going in one direction. And that's it feels like that's what he's really singing about.
Yeah.
And I think some of us can relate to that situation.
Yeah.
And I believe that may be one of the reasons also why it has gotten so many streams, because there's so many people out there who have seen themselves in his shoes with this.
Yeah.
That it's the hard talk. The entire period up until you get the text that says we need to talk.
I just really love these lyrics.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just jump to the stars.
Yeah, I want to give them 5 stars, really.
Yeah.
Because they're so freaking well written.
Because I also feel they're
so
not
well
lazy.
performed. No,
like I don't think he is actually repeating himself that much. I don't think he's milking any one thing. He's just letting everything count, and it's brilliant. It's genius. He's not sacrificing anything for a rhyme and still makes it work. I think it's really genius. It feels new.
He gives me the feeling of longing.
Yeah.
The longing for someone and the dread of having to take the talk. Like it's like taking the necessary steps here. Well done, Alec. 5 stars on the lyrics from the Juice. So let's jump into the structure, because we actually have talked a little about the structure by now.
Yeah.
So what are your overall take structure-wise? Like, because you're saying that it doesn't really have that much structure to it.
It does have, well, it has structure. It's just not the
It's not the classical.
He could have chosen a much more regular, straightforward approach to this, but
verse,
he just
chorus,
didn't.
verse, chorus, C part, chorus, done.
But even the way he I think it's very, very genius. I think it's brilliant. I think it's not that it's completely new or unheard of, but it's definitely different. And I want to give it 5 on the structure because I think it's quite brilliant. He could have been so lazy with this and still made a banger, but he wasn't. He actually took his time.
What I really want to pinpoint out with this structure is also what we talked about earlier. Is it's not that long. It's 2 minutes 45.
I'm so happy about that. I know it's weird, but I'm just so happy it's not 3.5 or 4 minutes long, because it would end up being boring halfway through.
It's only the necessary length for you to get the message, and it keeps you wanting more.
And even in that, he actually spends like I don't know, 20-30 seconds phasing it out, basically.
Yeah, really.
That's just the outro. That's not really just.
But then again,
it's a very short song.
It's a fun way of you're saying phasing it out. Remember what I said earlier, like having that necessary talk,
Yeah.
and then it kind of just phases out when the hard part is done.
Yeah, that's kind of
It
true.
it's kind of, oh my god, the red wire between lyrics and structure is phenomenal.
Also
Really,
that whole thing where he's just, if you're leaving, baby, let me down slowly. That he just, repeats it one last time and just lets it die there. It's just, it's a good song.
if you
It's a
want to
real
go,
good
then
song.
I'll be so lonely. If you're leaving, baby, let me down slowly.
Yeah.
And-
It's a beautiful
and then
way.
done.
Yeah, and then done. It's just we just kind of have to give it 5.
Yeah,
for that
like-
too. Yeah.
To the stars
It's
and the moon and back.
also because it is a sad song in some way, and that's can be difficult to have that as a hit, as a banger. I believe there's a reason that sad, slow songs doesn't always become the most played songs as easy, because people want to have a good time, they want to party, so they have a tendency to play upbeat songs. This is definitely not upbeat songs, but 1 billion hits on Spotify later. And
It kind of show us that this is what people wanted. But if this is a song that you wanted to hear and you maybe have heard it in the past, press that subscribe button.
Yeah.
It will really help out the channel, and we really appreciate it. And we want to see you return to the channel once more. He's
just-
on a roll here. It's like one of the best tracks I've heard.
Yeah.
So how about the Sexiness?
Yeah, but it's also just 5, because we it's just like yeah, but you can't try and find something negative to say about it. I dare you. Look TikTok in the eyes, look people in the eyes, and say this song sucks because this one point, and I will give it 4 stars. Just try
This
and
song-
justify giving it 4.99 stars. Just try.
Okay. Dear people of YouTube,
You might as well just practice your apology videos. We know they're coming.
this song sucks because I didn't write it.
That's true. That's true. It's not. This wasn't us doing it, and therefore 1 star. That.
And I'm doing this statement not because I am shallow or narcissistic in any way. I'm doing it because I am jealous.
You're the other things too. It's just not the main reason right now.
Don't ruin it.
Why couldn't that be amazing?
You're like the guy behind the president who just gives up. Oh yeah. Yeah, the sexiness of this track is definitely through the roof. Like it's I can't say anything bad about it.
it's
Really,
impossible.
it's one of the best mix I've heard. It's one of the best structures because it keeps me repeating the song.
Yeah.
It has lyrics that really tells a story here and keeps a red wire between the structure and the lyrics constantly. It makes you really want to resonate with this guy.
It's beautiful. It's
well
emotional.
delivered.
It's catchy. It's well written. It's well played. It's not too much. It's not too little. You want to hear it again. It's just everything it's supposed to be.
I think it's one of those tracks that I know there's a lot of fast production music out there, but I think this is one of those wonders. I think this one is one of those that's gonna stick through time.
Yeah, but have you ever wondered how a lot of music that is high production versus a lot of music that doesn't have a lot of instrument, that they are always the ones that takes the most time? Have you ever thought about that? Some of those like songs that just have like a gazillions of effects, that have a million and millions of instruments and all kinds of things, and it's kind of quick. It's kind of record, let's get it out there. And then there's people who are sitting with one piano, and they have spent so much time
On making
that one piano
sound
just be perfect.
just right.
It's like the fewer instruments you have on your track, the longer time it's gonna take for some reason.
Yeah, less
It's,
is more. Less is more.
And I think it's because when you are making music where you don't put a lot of stuff on, it's because you aren't necessarily trying to be popular. You are maybe focusing a bit more, going into depth with the things that you have to make those the best they can be. There's nothing wrong with either one of them, but it is just interesting that every time there's almost nothing on the tracks, it just seems so much more thought through.
I would say before giving it 5 stars here.
Yeah.
Because we know that's gonna happen.
The highest honor you can get on
on
YouTube.
Yes.
5 stars from us.
Yeah, on all 3 categories. Really. This is a song that splits the water between making production music or being an artist.
Yeah,
This is art,
absolutely.
really, through and through.
And it definitely also takes a lot out of you to do it like this.
Yes.
I think there's justification for both kinds of music, but this is a nice breath of fresh air.
But I would love to hear you, Isabella. What are your overall thoughts on this track? And while you're mentioning, could you slide up on screen what we're gonna do next?
It's a hauntingly poignant masterpiece that effortlessly weaves emotion into every note. Benjamin's soulful voice takes you on a journey through the complexities of love and vulnerability. The lyrics resonate deeply, painting a vivid picture of the bittersweet experience of letting go. With its gentle melody and heartfelt storytelling, this song is a soothing balm for the heart. Let Me Down Slowly is a musical gem that reminds us of the beauty found in both strength and vulnerability, leaving a lasting impression that lingers in the soul.
She's such a good girl.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that either, should I?
No. We're trapped here. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.